moment now. Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is Krishna Priya. This is the Human Colony Hucolo webinar. It's Saturday, the 7th of September, 2024, and we have with us our very special guest, Jim Charles. Hi, Jim.
Hey,
Hi, how many people do you have in your room today?
4.
Who all is there?
I have Will, Blair, Donna, and David.
Perfect. And in our room, we have Angie, Alan, Barbara, Christine, Dawn, Yana, Michael, Selesh, and Susan, with more naughty laters coming in any minute, I can just tell.
There.
Okay.
I have
We get to hear it again on YouTube. So welcome, everyone. Why don't we start with the announcements? Angie has an announcement.
Thank you. In 2 weeks, Jim, Will, and myself, we're going to be in the EES system, the Energy Enhancement System in Bath, New York, and we're going to do the webinar from there. And very excited about this, the energies that are in these systems, and very excited for that. Jim, you want to say anything about that?
Well, I'm hoping that that'll be really very good and that we'll feel all the energies of the EES system and that will help aliens and spirits get through even faster and easier. So I think that'll happen.
Yes.
Can I give a little suggestion?
Yes.
About that? Can you all do like a pre-recording, like with a walking tour around it so that we can see what it is you all are looking at? Because you'll be sitting statically and we can run the video maybe at the very beginning of the
I think that's a great idea. Yes, that is something that we can do.
Cool. Because I know everyone's going to be like, what does it look like? What does it look like? That would be me. I would be saying
That's
that.
a very nice area. It is a beautiful area.
Yeah. Okay, great. All right. So, and then we have upcoming class, maybe?
Yes. Tentatively, we're looking at the first weekend of November. We are looking at level 4 white magic. The date hasn't been set, but it's tentatively at the beginning of November. In order to participate in level 4, you have to have completed levels 1 through 3, and there are a few flourishes that will need to be memorized before there's a prerequisite, and also there needs to be a memorization. And if I'm correct, it will be Will and Jim teaching it. Is that correct, Jim?
Yes, Will and I will teach it. Also, if Mark is here, he will help also, but I don't know if he's going to be here then.
All right. If you are interested in the white magic class, please send an email to classes@hucolo.org. And the other class that we are looking at is the consciousness class. It will be a level 4 consciousness class as well. And so if you are interested in either one of those, please email classes@hucolo.org, and I will get the registration out for you. All classes are $150.
Great.
All right. Also, I wanted to announce the channel panel coming in January. I'm very excited about this. This is the first big channel panel I've been a part of, and it will be in Sedona, Arizona, and it will be from January 3rd to January 3rd from January 3rd to January 5th. And it will be at the Arts Center there.
Yes.
And there will be Bashar will be there, and Daniel Scranton and Wendy Kennedy and many other of your favorites will be there. So I'm excited to meet these people because these are some of the people that I look up to, really, and Rob Gauthier, of course. So anyway, we have that happening, and then there will be another something coming in April.
Okay, great. Another something in April. Awesome. Okay.
In Canada, yeah.
Yes, in Canada. We're looking at the second weekend in Canada, doing a 2-day gathering, 2-day workshop, 2-day instruction. Rob has said that he's on board with that. Our Krishna Priya will be in India during that time, so she won't be able to attend that one. But if you're interested in that as well, that is going to be something different than what we are doing. Any gatherings we've done here, this one will just be you pay an entry fee to come in for the 2 days, and then you provide your own meals, your own lodging. So
Great. Do you have someone up
Buses
there
at
organizing it
hucolo.org.
for you? Or
Say that
Do you have
again, please.
someone up there organizing for you or not?
Yes, I'm coordinating with Rosangela.
Great, perfect. Okay. All
Thank you.
right. Thank you. All right, let me get Jim on. Oh, here we go. Oh, Angie, I'm gonna unspotlight you. There's Jim in the spotlight.
Hey,
What do you think about that? Okay, so why don't we start with some blessings? And I forget who all said, but I think I know. Did anyone this is who I have. I have Dawn, Yana, Susan, Angie, Alan, and David, and probably Will. That's a lot of blessings. Does anyone else want to do a blessing?
I was just called on.
yes, Will.
Okay. All right. We'll go in the order that I said. Dawn, Susan. I'll just call people. Just be ready. Dawn, we'll start with you.
Thank you, Krishna Priya.
You're welcome.
Basano osram amareo koshe areo keshe chani chawa. Etata ia uno okunum asana awia akashiwa. Tia ko ia okuma ase euka ia adoru. Namaste.
Greetings. Life is fragile and beautiful on your world, and we want to sustain that. We want to build you up and bring you into a greater life force because you have those elements of greater life force within you. You have that eternal spirit that must be shown. Many people call this a prison planet. However, you can escape the prison with holiness and with becoming someone of God. Do not allow yourself to be caught up in all the karma that is there, but refute it and deal with it on your world.
Great. All right. Let's do Susan.
Tia sia kia te totoesa, kai a tia tuhu ia tia sia, tike kia tutu te sika hea tuku te taiesi tia tutu te sika. Hia saya kia tutu ia sika hitu, hia sia kia tuku tuaia te tia sia tuku aia te taiesi, hai sia ia koa, hia te aia tia, siku aia tia, hia sakaya. Blessings.
The energy of the violet flame is there with you today and with all. It is time for that flame to grow even brighter and extend its energy out into the world in a different kind of way than it has already. More people need to be aware of the energies that are there that are positive, not only the negative ones which you fight off, but the positive ones that can come in and make things better for you. Please discover that spirituality and the flames of the violet and all the other ones are becoming more powerful as time moves forward.
Beautiful. Okay, thank you. Yana.
Hello, everyone. Stika artono e te hanta akart hante ort mahaya ke o ka estike ortona la e ti I ha hante ust orto ko o hakante te estik. Ha ante o ortomae ke o ho amta o ahaike o to ortene ke a hau ko oste te orte matakana te. Peka ahaito o ko maka ostike na ha ai I ata taka ort. Blessings.
We need to bring this planet back into proper resonance, proper tuning in the universe. It is way out, and it is disturbing the universe as a whole, not only your galaxy, but far beyond that, because the sound that this planet is making is not harmonious with anything out here. We must bring you into attunement with all the things that are coming, and you must come back into the right vibration so that the universe can also be at peace.
Okay, Angie.
Hucolo o kasgashkato kumamya. Harwasgan kosu kwake ko no chiaka. Blessings.
There are some things that cannot be done at this moment, but lift yourselves up, bring the Spirit to you, involve yourself within the energy of God, and God will be within you so that things can be done in a more profound, a more positive way.
Okay, thank you. Alan, go ahead.
Kunya arasunt akanashina bena oroko no senakata ma ushuko no toretana ama oko no setamata kema oshunoko no topara kema ashuko no akanasokotono.
You are all there to overcome what is on this planet, overcome the negativity, overcome the pain and anxiety. It is for mankind to suffer, but also for mankind to heal itself in many ways. And this can be done. And the attitude must be of positivity and must be of affirmation.
Thank you. Barbara.
Shutona hatoko shakia, shanana ki situochu, shamana hana ki tishisha, kunokoro hata, kiyama honoko, kiyata hana koto, kiyasha.
We lift you up and bring you peace and send you love, prayers, and special gifts. We are here to help you open up. We are here to help you become more of what you need to be. And you must understand that it is a daily process and it must be done and done daily. And you must give yourself over to it.
Michael, did you want to do a blessing? Michael, I don't know if did he drop off? No, he's there. Okay, Wendy, do you want to do a blessing?
Yes, thank you so much. Jonyaraka ta nuhuruma ni itho nyara kai tiroro nyara chipma hoyeni te oro koi pai chinataro no sha kuhiri piarana katoro chihuini repa ta nyuro to kit nyu nahara noro Nieshoro karakta. Blessings.
You are all made from light of the universe, God's light. He created it and he has molded it into matter and into flesh and blood as well. He has put himself within you and he wants you to use those gifts that have been brought forth to you in a very positive way, in a very positive manner. Reflect and make sure that you are using things as God intended them to be used, and you will continue to gain power and blessings with God's help.
Thank you. Michael, do you want to try again?
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, give me one moment.
Okay.
Ola kasama tayo sa suy teman kas I am inai saya tu isama ka ai kota ai au I mala ola kasi I ama ula ayata useketi na aya usipi. Blessings.
Do not be distracted by the world, but keep your eye on God and faith, and the mysteries of this world will open up unto you, because many of these mysteries are needed to do some missions and to let people know what the truth is about the history of this world. It has not been acclaimed properly, but these things that are hidden will bring forth greater understanding of what the world is all about.
Okay, perfect. And then in your room, we have Will and David. Will, or whoever wants to go first.
David? Do you want to come to the microphone? Yeah. Message for the highest good of all and the highest good of all that is.
We can't hear anything.
Can't hear you. Can you hear me better now?
Nope. You really got to get on the mics.
Sure. Go ahead, I'm gonna grab a chair because.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes?
Excellent. They want to give it a title, Whispers in the Song.
In the sun?
Song.
Oh. Music is a language and an energy, and it comes to you without mistake to bring up your spirits, to move you in an alignment with mind, body, soul, spirit, and emotions. It is here to bring forth that which is good in this world. If it is the right music and the right language, it is the right feeling in your soul, and it will grow your soul in many different ways. Remember that the music is a language, and it is based on all the sounds of the universe. And the universe wants to bring this planet back into a pure tone that will resonate through all its people at all times. The beauty of this language and the sound of the energy that brings it will be of great value to you at all times. Thank you.
Thank you. David, can you try again?
Can you hear better now? Can you hear better over here? You don't speak very loud.
Just really project your voice, David.
Tezanzu Ramanahai Itazu Mahaniaro Keparo Niekera Zanzuranaha Ru Mahasinjikero Tokanye Shanzianan Zeba Uka Sinjiaro Usondiara Kusha Yenan Yenam Zuramananian and Yen and Neba Undo Unkisnjewa.
Peace, love, blessings. When you encounter fear, you must overcome it. When you find that you are a slave to fear, then you will not rise. You will stay in the same place or falter and fall. It is time for all people to get rid of the fear that is within their souls, because it does not belong there, because if God was there, it would not be there. God takes the fear away. God brings peace, love, and understanding to all. God is the giver of great peace and love, and he wants everyone to be at their best and not worried about the world that they live in, about the fear that is there. It is something that must be overcome.
Beautiful. Thank you. Okay. We have quite some blessings, so let me get back to them. I mean, quite some requests. We have, as our requests, the Hindu goddess Kali and the snow elves of the north, the violet flame dragons, Ganesha, someone from Gurfik Mir, someone who can talk about what the void is and some questions about the makeup of the universe, maybe the Time Lords, Elijah, the Eliyahu, and then in the YouTube chat, they've requested Pele to talk about a reincarnation, Lord Kaliki of the Shambhala, and Medea, the goddess who blesses those who dance, and Uma, and a request for Uma being to speak about their current and past influences on the planet.
Lots of requests.
Lots of requests.
One moment.
And I hope I didn't miss any requests.
Greetings. I am Elijah.
Welcome.
Thank you. Many of you are living lives the way you want to, not according to the Spirit, not according to anything but what you feel is the correct way. This is a form of spirituality, but you must connect it with God and the principles of God and the ways of God. It is not good to just do whatever you want. It is not good to just say, all right, I don't want to do that, so God, just make it so that I don't have to. You have to be obedient to God in the sense that if he speaks to you, you must do whatever he says. Many of you, he does not speak to because you do not even pray and ask him to. You don't pray and want his direction. You just pray and say, bless this person and bless that person, and help this person and help that person, and help me with all that I do, but you're not really connecting with the Spirit of God. The Spirit of God is a special thing. You must go into meditation or deep prayer to connect with him so that you know what he is saying and what he is wanting from you, because you will not be able to hear it in all the confusion of this world. It's just too crowded. It's just too distracting. I want you to know that love is from God. And when you feel that love within you and feel that love coming through you, you will be able to help all the people around you. You see, the love of God is that thing that makes you do the things that you do out of love. His love will help others. Of course, your love will too, but connected with his, it will help many, many more. I want you to know that he is happy with the children that he has and that are following him and that are doing what truly is right and good. And he is happy to give them gifts. He is happy to bless them in ways that they may not even understand, and bring them prosperity in ways they may not even understand. For prosperity is many things. It can be of money or of things, or of even gifts of the Spirit or friendship or love or peace. There are many kinds of gifts that the Spirit can give. And so listen carefully to the Spirit as he wants to give you many different gifts out of love from his heart. But you must feel the love from his heart to be able to get some of these gifts. You must be able to feel him within you. I know that some of you have felt it in the past. You have many gifts. You've struck up many things from God. But if you let God go now, the gifts will not increase or improve. The gifts will not go on forever. They will stop if you are not attached to the glory of God, to the love of God, to the peace of God, to the salvation of God. You must know him, and he must know you. You work together. It is not one working against the other or one working with the other, but working within each other. Within each other. Bring him into you, and you will be within him. And this is the way that you can get greater things done. This is the way that the Spirit wants to move. This is the way that the Spirit can make itself known in greater ways, showing you what the actual world is all about, showing you from above what the true story is down here. Because you do not see the true story here. You see everything that distracts you in the world, conspiracy theories and negativity, separation from one another, not loving one another the way you should. And you say, well, I don't like these people. I don't want to be around them. But I tell you this, how are you to minister to anyone if you don't want to be around them? You must find the good in them. You must find the part of them that you can connect to so that God can connect to you through and give them what they need. They are never going to get well if you ignore them. They are never going to understand the Spirit if you hide away from them. They are never going to understand love truly unless you are giving it truly. And hiding away from them is not truly giving love. It is truly protecting yourself. And you are of God. God gives you courage, strength, and understanding, so you have no excuse to hide away. He gives you all that you need to become who you need to be. And if you disregard that, that is a huge part of his message and ministry that is being lost. Understand, he has a full ministry, not just what you want to do, not just what you think is the right thing to do, not just what you go out and do and say, oh, I did good. Let God tell you how well you did. You really can't judge what you've done in God's eyes, because God is the judge, not you. And you cannot judge other people. That's God's job also. God's job is all of the things above. If you judge one another, you will be judged harshly. If you do not judge one another or judge each other with peace and love, then you will be judged easily. But God wants you to understand that many things that have been taught to you by society in your head do not project a godlike image. And your image is important to the world. And many say, oh, she's wonderful, he's wonderful, they're doing a great job. But would they say that if they knew you on a daily basis? Would they say that if they knew you at home and everything you do there? Would they say that if they knew you in your job? Would they say that if they knew everything that you do? What would they say? It's not for them to judge, but they do anyway. And you cannot understand why people judge you or people are hard with you. It is what you are producing to the world, what you are giving out to the world that comes back to you. If you're giving out harshness, it's coming back. If you're giving out love, it's coming back. If you're giving out goodness and service, it's coming back in one way or another. But you just can't say that you love God and do nothing. This is not what God has in mind. God wants you to be active, interactive, and a great value to the world. And some of you say, I'm doing what I think is right, and that's all that needs to happen. Guess what? You need to get in touch with God and let him tell you what needs to be done. Because that is why the world is in such bad shape now, is because people are not doing what they need to do. They haven't been for a long time. Some of you are. I'm not saying all of you, but I am saying that everyone can be better. Everyone can give a greater amount of themselves to the world to help them. Love, peace, understanding, compassion, forgiveness. I say those words a lot because those are the words that ring true to me. Much love to you all.
Much love to you. Thank you. There's an additional request for Kaliso or Kalisa, daughter of Poseidon, just to add that into the mix.
Hello, this is Ganesh.
Welcome, Ganesh.
It is time for me to make an appearance here. It is good to see all of you, and I have a message for you all today. Since this is my celebration day, I want to be of great joy to all of you and say that everything that is done in the name of all the gods are in favor with the gods. There is one God that is greater than all gods, and then there are others that are parts of his personality that you may see and understand and sometimes relate to better than other things that he may be bringing to you. Connect to him the way you feel the greatest connections, so that you might be in his presence constantly. Because if you connect to one of his personalities, that is his presence in that personality. So take care and take understanding that God is in many ways of many different things. He is all things. He is all understanding. He is all that is. And he can bring to you through many different ways scripture and understanding, peace and love, and foundation, and just familiarity with each other, friendships. Fellowship. That's the word I'm looking for. He can bring about fellowship and understanding with each and every one of you. So I want you to know that getting closer to God is getting closer to the world that is true in nature, the world that is of the spirit, the world that is of the angels and of the higher spirits of understanding. God has many looking out after you. God has many looking into your hearts. God has many trying to guide you and direct you. Listen carefully. Much love to you. Is there questions?
Yes, Alan has a question. Go ahead, Alan.
Greetings. I would like your take on this. It was relating also to what Elijah said, but also your perspective would be interesting. So, oftentimes, the will of the all that is can masquerade as the will of the spiritual ego, and vice versa. So, let's say that if someone inhabits an identity structure and they have a story of who they are, what they've done, their influences, and what they need to do, and even though it may feel out of resonance for them, they part of them might justify it as saying, well, oh, it's God's will for me, so I guess I have to do this. Whereas that there's a chance that might be the spiritual ego talking, whereas in the true heart, and someone, it says they feel they want to do it, and it is the will of the all that is, they might say, oh, maybe I'm just being selfish. So my question to you is, how can one distinguish whatever God's will is
Yes.
to make the
It's a
distinguish the
wonderful question.
perception? Yeah,
It's a
perceive,
wonderful
because
question.
God's will and spiritual ego, because sometimes there's some camouflage.
Yes. Purify yourself. And let me tell you this. If something comes to you and you want to do it out of love, out of peace in your heart, this is the will of God. This is something that has been given to you to do. It is not something that you have made up in your mind because you just like to do it. But he will give you the things that you want and love to do, because he's not going to try to make you do all kinds of things that you do not want to do. He does make you fellowship and love everyone. He does make you reach out to the world and give service to the world. But when it's truly in your heart that that's God's will, you will love to do it. You will want to do it. You will feel free to do it. You will not hesitate to do it. And you will say, this is not my ego. I know that this is something that needs done. Now, many of you do things out of need or do things out of anger. Even doing good things out of anger is not a good idea. I mean, some people say, well, I guess I have to do it. God wants me to. But it is not the same. God does not want you to do these things out of anger. He wants to purify your heart and make you do it out of love, of kindness, of beauty. So if you're angry about doing something, don't do it. If you pray about it and it becomes something different, then you can. But doing it out of anger does not bless you or them. They will be able to see through everything that is you. Oh, some of you have a very nice false attitude about things and can fake your way through a lot of things and even let people think that you care about them when you really don't. But that will come into the light eventually, because all lies will do that. It might be a very small giveaway, but they will see it and question it. Inside themselves, they'll say, were they being really honest with me? Were they being true with me? Were they being all but they can do that with anybody, of course. They can say that about those that are actually truly giving out of love, because they're not used to somebody giving out of love. They are used to people giving just because they have to. So to be the right person at the right time, you need God's will to come into you. Feel the love, feel the peace, feel the want to give service. I see more questions on your mind.
No, that's yeah, there's but for now I think I'll let any others ask a question if they would like to. But
I
thank
see
you.
that you wanted to say, so that's not telling me how to be in God's will. It's the being in God's will is to know the truth about yourself first, and then know the truth about God. How are you going to know the truth about God? You must read about God. You must pray to God. You must try to take in what is of God. Then you will understand what the will of God is, because it will speak to you. It will give you what you need to know, and it will guide you and direct you in certain ways. There is no other way that I can tell you how to be in the will of God other than to know God in your heart, know God in the word. Now, some words are very angry and some words are very lost in the Old Testament, I'd say. there's a new version, the New Testament. Not that the Old Testament is not valid in some ways, but the New Testament says much more and is a greater guidance. But you have to know who God is in order to do God's will.
Mhm.
To
Yeah,
some extent, you have to know who you are first.
yeah. My ego is telling me to pass on the mic, but to do justice to what you're saying, I really just really quickly. There's because when we intellectualize, when we tell ourselves that we want to do the will of God, but it's so easy. The spiritual ego, like how to tell with the spiritual ego, is because that's almost like interfacing with a hologram of what we perceive to be God, because we're externalizing this will. We have to do this. We're attaching ourselves to wanting to do the will of God. So
Correct.
how do we do the will of God without attaching ourselves to wanting to do the will of God? All right, that's my last question, for sure.
No, you can attach yourself to wanting to do the will of God. That's not stopping you from doing the will of God. It is if you know God, if you know yourself, and then you attach yourself to something that you believe is the will of God, then so be it. It may be exactly what you're looking for.
Thank you. I pass the mic.
Thank you. Michael has a question. Go ahead, Michael.
We can't hear you. Hello?
He's not in the room anymore.
He is here. I see him. iPad is Michael, correct?
Yes.
Yes. He might be having an issue. He might have to relog again. There he
There
is.
he is.
He says he doesn't have sound. Try relogging, Michael, if you can. He's gonna relog. Does anyone else have a question? I have a question in the YouTube chat I can ask.
Let him out.
Swazi says, I'll start with her. She says, how do we become one with God? Do we sit and meditate and pray, or can we be working all the time?
You can be working and praying at the same time. When it comes to prayer, you can pray all the time in between the times you have to think about what you're doing. Prayer is something that can be constant. And as you are constantly in prayer, God is going to be constantly attaching himself to you as well. But remember, when you are in prayer, it's not the same prayer over and over again. It's prayers that of need for the world, prayers of need for yourself, prayers of need for your friends and family, prayers of need for the wars or for bringing separation into unity, or whatever these prayers may be, continue them so that the world of God can manifest himself within you, because you will feel God. God, you will know when God is there. He is something of he is a being. And whenever you feel beings, they are there. And many of you will feel the Spirit of God more than God, the Holy Spirit, yes. And so it is that you will feel that. But many of you feel like there's no feelings at all. There's no love. There's no feelings. There's nothing. You're sort of shut off from the world. And that is something that happens in this kind of world where things are really distracting, where things are really horrible. You see so many horrible things in this world that you get used to it. And your system goes, oh, just another horrible thing. And you don't really, your heart isn't really there to say, oh my God, that needs prayer. That needs looking at by God. That needs something more. You're hearing the news, but it's bouncing off. It's not making an impression in you to pray for it. It's not making an impression that it's a horrible, horrible thing. But you must take away that barrier, that thick skin, and say, and be sensitive to the word of God again. Be sensitive to what is out there, because with God, you will be able to pray and help others in these situations. Don't let things bounce off of you and say it's their problem. Pray for it. Let it be your problem as well. Not you're taking in all their anguish and everything, but you must pray for them. When you know that there is a problem, pray for it. You can't just let it go. You can't just let it be and say, okay, it's over there. I don't have to worry about it. God wants you to pray for all things, because all things are part of this world and you're a part of this world. So you are responsible for things in this world. You say, but I didn't do it. It wasn't my fault. But yet you are a human being and other human beings are causing the problems. So you have to pray for these human beings that are causing the problem. You are part of them. You must pray for them. And yes, in some ways, it might be your fault. What image are you giving off to the world? What image are you giving to people? What are you saying to people? How are you interfacing with mankind? Are they seeing love and beauty? Or are they seeing negativity of some sort? Only you will know that. Only you will know what your image is going out there. You can control what goes out. You can control what you say. You can control what you do. You can control many things. Many of you can't control your anger, though. It rages up inside you and you can't control it. And that needs to be a time for prayer. Anger does not belong in that way, where it just comes to you for no apparent good reason, like somebody gives you the finger or something like that. That's not a good reason to be angry. It really isn't. It's them that are dealing with hostility and problems. You don't have to deal with that. You can pray for them. You don't have to be angry with them. You can just say, I'm sure they don't know God as well, and so I'll pray for them. Or if somebody cuts you off when you're driving, you don't get angry about that. They probably made a mistake. So you have to actually deal with that mistake, but not with anger. You must deal with it by being a safe driver and pulling away or doing whatever you need to do to get away from that situation. But swearing and being angry, what does that say to the world? I'll stop there.
Thank you for that. Michael, are you back?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
great.
Greetings, Ganesh. A few years back, I had gotten quite a few statues from you, and I've had a reading with another person. But this is a mouthful. But from that, they were saying that you were helping me with my gifts, that you were working with me, and that you were. I guess the gender doesn't matter, but a female elephant humanoid from Sirius that was in India. And the reason why there's so many gods that are still recognized in India is because India was the last little part of the world that lost amnesia the last. Is that correct?
What do you mean by amnesia? What did they forget?
So I guess a long time ago, most of the world, the amnesia kicked in, like not remembering
what God was like.
Well, not really. Like, I don't know. I was just always told that India and some parts of China was the last ones to have amnesia back thousands of years ago, where they were more in tune with alien beings that were more, if that makes sense.
Yes, but the alien beings were, some of them were very attached to God as well.
Yes,
You're
yes.
right, yes. But amnesia is forgetting what is true. So I don't think they forgot what is true. I believe they forgot the feeling of what is true, or the understanding of what is true. And that is not necessarily amnesia, but they need to be rediscovering God through prayer. Prayer will bring back all the understanding that is necessary. Meditation will bring back many things as well. And many people do not know how to meditate. They don't know what you should be looking for in meditation. They don't know what to do with prayer. They just are saying it because they think that it helps, but they are not truly connecting with what is true in the spirit, not what is true in the universe, what is true with yourself and your love of self. Once again, if you know yourself, first of all, purify yourself, understand yourself, be able to stand up and be confident with who you are, then you can bring in God through scripture, through spirit, through many things, and know that it is God. Many people do not know what they are feeling. They don't know what God is. But when you know yourself, God will let you know who he is as well. Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely.
Well, good, because yes, you might say that some religions have amnesia within them, but the idea of spirit is individualized. They may have amnesia as a group. They may have amnesia as a religion. But each and every person must open their mind to God, open and understand themselves in the way of understanding God. It is an individual task. It is not for the group. The group will lead you in different directions, in different ways, but God will lead you in the true way for yourself. Yes, follow some scriptures and try to understand them, but you will never understand the scriptures until you understand who you are and how you are with God. And then the scriptures will open up to you and speak to you in a different way. I know that there are some here that hear the scriptures, not only the Bible, but the Bhagavad Gita and the Quran and all the truth that are in these different scriptures. And yes, these different things overlap. God's word always overlaps because he is in all the scriptures. And so you will find messages from the Bible in the Quran. You will find people in the Quran in the Bhagavad Gita. You will find Confucianism. That's something very different, but it will reflect all the thought processes of God. They are all similar. God doesn't go to one different religion and say a totally different thing than he's saying over here. It's just in different words, and people understand it differently. And so find your greatest place of understanding. Because if you know the truth about yourself, you can find the truth about God. Because God is within you, he is part of you, he is in the soul, he is the love, he is the peace, the guidance, the compassion, the forgiveness. Now, he is so much more than that. So much, much more. But it is that you must know yourself first.
Okay. And one more little selfish question, Ganesh. Me and my mother, we have a problem underneath our house, which is affecting our breathing, and we do not have the funds to repair it.
What is the problem?
It's throughout the years, my father never maintenance the house. So it's damp and it's causing
Mold?
yes, sir. Yeah, man, yes, Ganesh, yes.
And that is coming up from the under the
Yeah.
ground into the house?
Yes. And we had someone come out and quote $2,600, and that's not even feasible.
I see. Pray about that. And I
Yes.
will be praying with you because mold is a living thing and mold can be told what to do.
Mm.
It can be just taken out. It can take itself out.
Mm. Oh,
But
manifest.
pray about this very hard because it doesn't always happen. People do not believe these kinds of things. People do not believe that they can control their world and the way that things are moving in their world. These are things to overcome in the world, and you cannot overcome all things with money. It's not overcome that way. If you cannot afford it, it must be overcome in a different way. Prayer, meditation,
Mm.
an understanding of what was going on there, and perhaps trying to dry the house out underneath in a different way.
Mm.
So
Wow.
there is ways to do things without it costing a lot of money.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that.
We will be in your mind. Pray for it.
Oh, thank you so much, Ganesh. Blessings.
Blessings. Believe God is a God of miracles, not just a God of lip service. But you must believe and you must pray. And many people say, oh, I've been praying to him for years. He never talks to me, never does anything. There's no miracles, there's no nothing. And that is because you have not put yourself in God, and God has not put himself in you.
Okay, thank you. Christine has a question. Go ahead, Christine.
Hello, Ganesh.
Greetings.
Greetings.
It's so good. Yes.
I volunteer in a bird rescue, and there's a lot of birds there that have lost their feathers due to stress. And when I go in there, sometimes I'm filled with so much love, and I send them love to grow their feathers back. And I'm wondering, is that really possible?
Yes.
Because I enjoy sending the love to them.
Of course, the love will help them. Their stress will go down, but you would have to be there a lot of time for them to grow their feathers back with all the love that you're sending. Because once you leave there, do you still feel the love for them?
I think of them.
Good. Send your love constantly to them. And that is one way that it will be able to be managed.
There's one particular, well, there's more than one particular cockatoo that she's jumped off her perch when she's out of her cage and will chase me. Is there a reason why she feels this animosity? I mean, we play.
Are you sure it's animosity?
Well, she pecks at I'm afraid she'll peck at my legs.
Well, she might just want your attention, but she might be angry that you're not sending enough love to her or something. I'm not sure why she's angry. You might remind her of someone. There are many reasons why animals get angry because they've had many bad experiences with people. And so
Yeah.
and so they don't know how to know which people are the good people and which people are the not so good people. So they chase everyone away so they won't be harmed. So just send love to this cockatoo, send peace and understanding. I know you must get away from them, but send as much love and peace as you can so that they can understand that you are not the bad person.
Yes, we have this eye contact, and I'm saying, I got my eyes on you, Isabella. And she'll lift her wings and look at me, and she's entertainment for me as well.
Well, she's trying to communicate.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it.
I really, like you were saying, giving to others. I
Of
find
course,
it
yes, yes.
easier to give to others in the animals, but I have to restrict it to the kind that I can't bring home.
Yes, yes. I understand.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Adriana would like to say something.
Yes. Hello?
Ah, there we go. I think that's it. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Ganesh, thank you so much for helping me with my education and teaching me about generosity. And that's all I really wanted to say.
You're welcome, my dear. I am here to help all beings. If they need help, they can call on me, and I will give them as much attention as they need or prefer.
I feel you gave me a gift without me even asking, and that taught me so much. Thank you.
You're
That's
welcome.
all.
Much love to you.
You
Yes.
too.
Love is my way. I like to give love. I like to give service. I am one of, I just love you all.
I love you so much too. Be well. That's it. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. There's a request from Posthume, and he says, I'm just having so many problems lately. And he says he's asking for any messages, but I would say, do you have words of inspiration or ways for him to overcome what he's facing? And that would go for anyone facing
The world,
issues.
yes, the world is a very difficult place, and it's full of negativity and distractions. It's full of things that aren't true and full of things that are true. But the thing is, you must understand that you must overcome the things that are not true. And I know there are some situations in your realm that are harming you that are true. But I want you to know this. My love will be with you and my peace upon you, and I will help you through these things. It is not impossible to get through these things. You will make it through. You will be of greater understanding and greater thought process because of these things. It will build courage. It will build your whole beingness into a stronger character. I know that it is difficult at this time, and everything seems to be against you. But let me tell you this. Hold on to the faith and the love of God, because it is not all bad. There is not all bad everywhere. And you must understand that you must connect with what is good. You must connect in with what is good in your life. And think of those things and pray about the things that are not in good measure with you, and pray for those things that are not in your control, because God is a person that can take control if you believe that. So pray for them to control the situation. Pray for God to control the situation. Pray for his spirit to be upon all these situations. Pray for his spirit to grow in you about all these things so you can either overcome or become greater than what is there. You are strong. You are spiritual. You are an understanding individual. And I give you my grace and hope that you will continue to fight these negativities and bring God and love and courage into that situation.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And let me just check if there's anything else in the chat that's relevant. Well, Swazi does ask a question about what does your trunk represent?
What does my trunk represent? As I
Yes.
am an elephant head.
Yes. Yes.
Well, my head was chopped off by my father. And so
Yes.
I got a new head with a trunk on it. And the trunk is for actually it has many meanings. It gives, it takes, it eats, it's like another hand because it's good for service in my world, in my thought process. I can serve with it. And I can use it for helping others when they are in my midst, especially the spiritual work. I can do that with my trunk. It is of great understanding that I never knew what a trunk was for really until I had one. And now I know that it is for feeding. I know it is for giving, for service, for drinking. It is for many things.
Thank you for that. Okay. Oh, and this is the last question. High Priestess wants to know if she's on the right path. And I would just say, let's take this question and ask, how does anyone find out they're on the right path? And please, if
Know
you can
that
offer guidance.
know thyself first. Know thyself first. Know who you are. Know what you are all about. Know what you believe. Know what is you. Be able to stand up in front of a group of people and say, this is who I am, and not be afraid to tell them who you are, first of all. And second of all, to know that you are on the path. I know that you are on the path because you are moving in a positive direction. If you are moving in a positive direction, I would say, yes, you are on a good path. But bring God into that path even greater. Bring God into all your pathways and let him know about all the things that are you and what you want from him and what love he can give for you. Of course, blending yourself with him will make you a different person because you will understand the path much better.
Okay, thank you for that. That's beautiful. All right, that is all the questions that I have for you, Ganesha. And happy birthday, happy Ganesh Chaturthi.
Thank
It's
you.
beautiful to have you here.
I don't even know how old I am, but it's all right. But thank you
I don't
for the
know if it can
birthday
be
wishes.
measured in years.
Hmm?
I said, I don't know that it could be measured in years.
I don't think so.
No.
Probably in a millennia. So
Yeah.
it is, yes, I've been around a long time. Very well. I will bring someone else in to talk to you today.
Thank you.
I am the daughter of Poseidon.
Of Poseidon.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a message for the group, please? And I'm not sure who requested you. Oh, Kalisa. You're Kalisa. I'm so sorry. Wendy requested you. But if you would, maybe give an introduction of yourself and then we'll go to Wendy's question.
I am one who looks over many things. My father looked over the sea and looked over those fish and animals and his wife and his children. But I am here in a different way to speak to the world in a different tone of voice. Of course, I am all about the waters as well. I love the waters and they need refreshed. They need clarified and cleansed. But I'm also about understanding the land people as well, and the things of the land and of God that is in the land. And so I am here to give messages how to purify the world environmentally as well as spiritually. But my quest is more environmental My request is more about how to save the planet in that way.
Perfect. Wendy has a question for you. Wendy, are you there?
Yes. Good afternoon or morning or day or evening, wherever you are.
Yes.
So several months ago, I saw your name in a dream, and I am not sure if it's Kalisto or Kalisa because I don't have my notes with me. But yeah, I was gonna say, but I know it doesn't matter. So a couple of nights ago, I had a dream where, actually probably a week ago, nonetheless, I had a dream where I was sent out to get a snake, and then next thing I know, it was a poisonous snake. And then I'm on the water. I like swim out to the water, and then while I'm in the water, all of a sudden it turns out into these big like tsunami waves, and they're coming and coming, and I keep thinking they're going to push me back to shore, but they don't. I just stay in them. And while I'm standing in them, all of a sudden I see myself on the water. And as I'm on the water, which I mean, I think it's you. So
yes,
as I'm on the water, I can see it, and I'm looking, and it's like chaos around me, but I'm like standing in my power, and I'm saying, this is amazing. This is beautiful. Like I was enjoying the water. I was enjoying the wave and the movement. And then all of a sudden because I kept looking like, is this the wave sending me to shore? Is this the wave sending me to shore? And none of them did. And then as I was enjoying it, and then I looked, and here comes the next one, and then it sent me to shore. And then as I got to the shore, there was like an island, and there were people all around the island, like a little playground. And I said, oh, we're coming to warn you about the snake. And they said, oh no, we've already killed the snake. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I took a boat ride back over to this hangar. So it was like a big building, a warehouse building with like a big door. So I just call it a hangar. I don't know what else to call it, but but are you trying to connect with me? Is this like a connection from an earlier millennial life?
It's a message. The message is that you will see all the turmoil all around you, but it is not affecting you in any way, but you must pray for it and calm it. And so that is what happened when the wave brought you to the shore. You were able to calm that which was happening all around you in the sea. But now you are concerned about the snake, which was already destroyed. But the people there are wanting, you need to talk to the people about other things other than the snake, because the snake was not the prime message. The prime message was about taking care of the people that were there, and you were warning them against the snake, and you were warning them against the waters. But they already were calm, and so you saw that they were already calm, and so you took a boat back over to the hangar. The hangar is the safe place. The hangar is where all safety is, because you did not feel, you felt safe everywhere you were, but this is the truly safe place for you, is in the hangar and being home. So you are headed for that safe place right now.
I see, I understand. And so with the events that we're planning for in next year, where we're going to be working with the land and the water, is that another reason that you're making yourself known to us, that we'll be working with you as well?
Yes, land and water are what I am all about. Yes, because I'm not only interested in the water, but I am interested in the land and the ecology of the land. And the land is being overtaken and spoiled by chemicals, by fire, by bombs, by many different things. And so as the ecology grows less sound, I want to work with people to bring the ecology into a greater understanding.
Okay. Are there any dragons of land and water that want to be included in this work?
Of course, there is all kinds of beings that want to be included, yes.
Okay, we'll just ask and see who comes. All right,
Yes.
that's all I had for you. Thank you so much.
Very well.
I
Okay,
appreciate
this
you
will be
coming.
so sorry. This is the last question I have for you, Ganesh.
I am
What am
not.
I saying? I'm sorry, Kalisa, sorry for that. Ganesh is still on my mind. Is there, can you invite any ascended masters who are teachers of humanity to also come and speak to our group?
Of course I can.
That was a question from the chat, so thank you for that.
And
That was the
and
last
who
question.
would they want for me to bring? There is many ascended masters.
Because there's so many, there was no choice.
I see.
Whoever's relevant.
You mean right now bring them?
No, just in general.
Yes, I
Thank
can bring many ascended masters here. There are many of them, and many want to work with the earth. Kutumi and Martin Luther King and Ish. There are many. I know of hundreds.
Feel that they're all in our presence. Thank you very much for that.
Elmora. Yes, there are many.
Thank you. Saint Germain, yes.
Saint Germain, of course.
Yes. That was the last question that I had for you.
All right. I will bring someone else.
Thank you.
One moment. They are suppressing me. Only good things can be said from me, even though I demonstrate negativity sometimes. I am Kali.
Oh, Kali, welcome.
They are suppressing all negativity, and I can only speak of positivity in this group. But who called me?
That was Susan, I believe.
Are you
Susan?
aware of that I do deal in negativity as well?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you, Kali, for coming. I recently connected with you, and I got a message related to endings and beginnings, which you're associated with, the cycle of rebirth, for example, death and rebirth. And I know recently, and others I've been speaking to, I think since Lionsgate especially, it seems like we've and from our Starseed Oneness gathering, it seems like I feel like I've lightened up, or I've like leveled up to a higher density, so to speak. And I recently visited a childhood place that I used to have a lot of emotional connection to, and I realized I felt really no connection to it anymore. And it is almost like my memories of my third dimensional existence, it was almost like thinking of a past life. Like I no longer, like I had like a vague recollection of like childhood memories at this place. And so I'm just wondering if you could speak, because I know a lot of people are kind of going through this, what's been spoken of as the division between the third dimensional Earth and the fifth dimensional Earth. There's like, it's a more apparent now, the kind of the divide, so to speak, or those that are moving in one direction versus another. And I wonder if you could speak based on your perspective of what's going on in the earth in that regard.
Well, first of all, stay grounded. You must stay grounded for everything to happen the way it's supposed to happen. You cannot disconnect from this world yet. You may feel like there is disconnection happening, but you cannot disconnect yet. So stay grounded so that you are able to move carefully into the next place. For it is a transition point that you are coming to in some years now. But I will tell you that, yes, I see your disconnect, and we need to reconnect you to some of those things, even though they may seem like you do not want to connect to them. They are part of who you are. They are part of your character. They are part of your your growth, and they are part of the symptoms of this life. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it's like I still have some like fond memories or feelings. I just don't have like that the drama, the pain and suffering of
Well, that's good.
like not being able to go up there as often as I used to, or things like that. Like the third dimensional, I guess, aspect of what I feel is like gone, like the pain, the suffering, the loss of you know, kind of losing my connection with this childhood place, but I still like have that like fondness of feeling, but I feel like I moved beyond it. Like it's no longer part of my now reality in a sense, or like I'm so focused on creating from like the now, so to speak, that it's
Yes.
like I no longer focus on the past or the future.
Very
And
well.
is kind of, I guess, a way to explain it, but
Yes. So do you feel the fire?
yeah, I'm more inspired on because I have a piece of land up there that I'm about to start developing that
Yeah.
I'm more inspired by that, like what I can create right now and going forward as opposed to what happened in the past. And so I'm more excited about where to go from here, I guess.
Where to go from here? You know that I am from nature and that I deal with nature and that I deal with fire as well. So I am being held back from discussing the fire portions. But the thing is this, the nature portions are all positive. I want recycling and regrowth to happen. I do care about the environment and the things that are here. And so the growth patterns and the patterns of the universe are very clear to me. Yes, we are entering another spiral of growth. This spiral is almost ended, but it still has a little ways to go yet. So don't get ahead of yourself on that. But we are here, I am here to take care of some of your nature sides. I am I'm a very physical being in many senses. I dwell in sensuality much, but they don't want to talk about that either. So, anyway, I want you to know that yes, this cycle is coming to an end within a few, well, it's like a few years to me, but it's still several years to you. So, but as long as I've been waiting for the new cycle, it seems like it's just right there.
Okay,
So I
wonderful.
want you to be involved in the feelings, your feelings about who you are, the feelings about Earth and what that is, and the feelings about how to take care of it and what it wants. You must understand the Earth can speak to you about what it wants and what it needs and how it is growing or dying or whatever it's doing. So connect. Earth has its own spirit, yes. And I am one of the spirits that it is given for balance on this planet. So I am Kali, and I will speak of positive and the negative, but I will not speak of negative to this group.
Okay, wonderful. Um, I have a question about trees. I've heard that trees don't like to be burned. I think that came through a previous
No plant, no
being.
plant, or no plant does. No anything likes to be burned. Nothing. No.
But do they, I mean, if they, because I also need to cut down some like baby trees on my property right now, but
Pray, pray that
yeah, but I've asked them to like withdraw their energy before I do so.
yes,
And
and when you cut them down, they will die, and you may burn them.
okay. So once like trees or plants and once are they're dead and there's no more life force in them,
Correct.
then it's okay to burn them like in
Correct.
in bonfires, campfires, that sort of thing.
Yes, I am very famous for my bonfires.
Yes, yours are a little bigger, I'm sure. But okay,
Yes,
yeah,
I
I was
dance
just wanted to
around.
clarify that as
I dance. I love to dance.
yeah, I heard that yeah, you're involved in yeah, the dance of nature, the dance of life and the cycles of life and
Dancing, yes.
yes, I've heard that about you too.
For many,
So,
many reasons, dancing, yes.
all right. Well, thank you very much for coming in and answering my questions.
You're
I'll let
welcome.
you go on to answer others as well. So, much love to you.
Very well,
Thank you.
there's another question for me.
Yes, Alan has a question for you.
Yeah.
Greetings. This just sort of popped into my head. So I know that with any plant medicine, such as ayahuasca or cannabis or something like that, like with the ayahuasca tea, that has to be heated with a fire and brewed, and with cannabis, that has to be lit with fire. So there's a link between fire and herbal plant medicine, but yet there's also a link between you and the fire. So, by
Yeah.
extension, there's a link between you and that herbal plant medicine, which goes to
Oh.
show how, in some of these trips that people experience, it feels like they have to go through the hell portion of it first to get to that heaven portion, which is that balance. So, can you explain your role and that sort of dichotomous experience of
Yes.
dealing with plant medicine and the
Plant
fire?
medicine is different. Whenever you do the herbs, they're usually cut and dried. They're not done fresh. So they're also dead whenever you take them, whenever you stir them in, whenever you use them. And I always tell them they are beneficial to the people of the planet. And many times when you have dealing with herbs, they do not feel the pain of being cut down, or they know that they are going, that their life is actually there for that sort of thing, to be helpful to the people on this planet. So it's really not a dichotomy at all. It is that they are giving themselves to the health of human beings, the health of animals even. Some animals eat some of these while they're still alive, and it nourishes their bodies. But when it comes to humans, they usually deal with the dried product, and the product that after it has actually no life in it, except for the leftover minerals and substances. Now, you will say, mentioned ayahuasca. Those are two different plants that no one would ever think to put together to make this kind of thing. But yet, how did man discover that? How did mankind discover ayahuasca when it's so unrealistic to put these plants together? But they did. And so it was taught to them by the aliens and taught to them by the earth creatures, the elementals, and these kinds of things. So there is no kind of dichotomy, really.
And let's get to, I guess the second part I'll serve as what I meant is the dichotomy is that symbolically, on the level of symbolism, you have the plant which represents life, the plant, but then you also have the fire, which represents the destruction. But also in the experience of the trip itself,
yeah,
at the beginning, there's like, oh my gosh, what am I getting into? Higher blood pressure, higher, stressing out, sort of like what's going through, and some sort of physical symptoms. There's that, but then past that, then it's like blissing out. So it's like they're both of them. So there's the two extremes, both symbolically and then during the experience of the trip.
It's your payment for the glory. It's your payment for it. You must experience something to give back what you are going to experience. It is true with many different of these plants that they may make you cough, they may make you ill, they may give you diarrhea, whatever. It's your payment to use them. And
Thank
so
you.
it is not always a dichotomy. There are some people that are used to them now, and they've already paid their price for them. And so they can use them willy-nilly, as you say. And so that is happening as well. But I do see they give you a price to pay when you want to get far away from this world. There's a price to pay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. I'm just looking. Ruth has a question. She says, can the last person mention the third or the fifth dimension, and many say the fourth dimension is empty. Please clarify about the fourth dimension.
The fourth dimension is not empty, but a lot of people say that the fourth dimension is what we are in now. They say third dimension is already past and we're in the fourth density going to the fifth. But you will see when you get there what the difference is. The fourth density and the fifth density are very, very, very different. The third density is also very different from the fourth and the fifth. These densities and dimensions have different focuses. They have different understandings. And humans cannot understand the focus of the fourth dimension at all at this point. And so they wisp over to the fifth dimension because they think they have a greater attachment to it. But the fourth dimension will be a very big surprise for many. And so it does exist, and it does have many things in it. A lot of people think the astral is the fourth dimension, but no, the astral is a dimension in between dimensions. It is not any of those that you may think of, not second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. The astral is a different thing than what the dimensions are. It's an undimensional area, meaning that it doesn't have the same qualities of a true dimension. And so therefore you can experience many different things there and do work there, but that can affect other dimensions and densities, but it is not a density of its own necessarily. It is an in-between place that has in-between accesses. And I can't even explain it to you. You'd say, well, that's a dimension, isn't it? And I will say, it's a between dimension. It's between the dimensions because it's not like third, it's not like fourth. It's between third and fourth, and it's ghost-like. It's not a dimension of peoples. It's not a dimension of things. It's not a dimension of solid state. It's something in between. Very well. Did that answer your question? Oh, fourth density. Fourth density is very surprising because it is very different than the third, and it must be very different. And I'll tell you why. Because if you are going to from the third to the fourth, you must experience all the differences that are there, because it is something unusual. You can walk through walls there. The density is lighter there than even in the fifth dimension in some ways. But I can't explain that because the fifth dimension is actually lighter, but in the fourth dimension, you could do things more lightly than you can do in the fifth dimension because of the way the density is set up. Does that make sense to anybody?
Yes, it does. And maybe you can expand on this with Rosangela's question. She says, when does a person de-incarnate or disincarnate as they go into the dimensions?
When you reach a certain percentage of enlightenment on your world, and that I can call it enlightenment because that's really what it is, because you're moving up into a higher density, so you're becoming more enlightened and understanding what's coming. As soon as you reach like a 75% into that density, you go into it. It's just that way. You will not feel the third density any longer, it will just disappear and you will be somewhere else.
Okay, thank you for that.
Now, some people
good.
say, well, isn't that death? Won't death happen when I do my density change? Some will die because they are not ready for the density change. And so in some ways, death will be the way they change densities if they choose to change densities. So that is one way also. But I can only explain what I know.
Exactly. Okay, thank you very much for that. That's the last question that we have for you.
Very well. What do I do now?
Well, you can stay with us if you'd like to continue answering questions, but we don't have any directly for you, or we can bring in another being. But it was lovely having you.
I'll let somebody else come.
Okay, thank you.
Goodbye for now.
Bye for now.
I can't talk about all the things I want to talk about, so I will go. I'm Sakli Rontandi. I go by a different name. Someone called me by a different name in your chat section. But I don't know what that name was. But I know it came from the chat section. One of the last 3 ones that were requested.
Was that Kalika?
Ah, that's their name for me. All right.
Or
Kali
Pele? Kalika.
Kalika.
Yes.
Hucolo.
I don't, I can't get back to that part of the chat for some reason, so whomever called you, please, we have to give it a second for the delay.
Very well. I will give a little message in the meantime.
That would be beautiful. Thank you.
I am here to bring you enlightenment, to bring you joy and peace, to bring you all things that are not available to you very easily. I think that some of you can experience joy, peace, and love, but it has been very much dampened down into your system. How many of you are feeling that love is very hard to reach at this time of your life? It's very petitioned away. Peace and understanding might not be as petitioned, but the love feels like I cannot connect in love. And so that is why I'm here. I want to connect with love to as many as possible because I feel it is lost within the human being. Many people do not feel that beautiful sensation of love, only rarely. And they must feel it in a much more beautiful way, and they must connect to God and so they can feel this and know what this love can do. It is power. It is the most powerful thing in the universe, and that's why they want it to be sealed off. They want people to be sealed off from it so that they don't have that power of love. They don't have that power of giving. They don't have that power of understanding. They think, oh, I care about that person. Let's pray for them or send them healing, but they don't really feel love. They just feel concern, or they feel they have to do it. But I want to bring the love back. Do you have the person there?
No, I do not.
So the person there left.
Yes, but I'm sure your message was probably very much along the lines of their question, just because things tend to work out that way.
Yes.
Yes.
But anyway, I want you to all feel love again. And I know that you're not. How do I know? Because even the greatest of you, well, you feel love, the passion love. You feel love, the friendship love. But it's not strong as it used to be. It's weak compared to what it used to be. And I wanted to bring back in to humans a strength of love that was once very powerful. And now it's like very dim and very casual and very, well, I think that some of you feel love for children and love for relatives, but for others, the love is strange. The love is not getting out. And I want to be able to help people get it out.
Thank you for that. Susan has a question. Go ahead, Susan.
Hello, Kalika.
We can barely hear you.
Oh, sorry. Let me turn up my volume. Can you hear me better now?
No.
Okay. Hold on.
Usually you're very clear. So is your microphone away from your mouth now?
Yes, it is. There you go. Kalika, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Because I'm unfamiliar with you. And then also, I did have an experience. I was channeling for a client, and it felt like I was connecting with the other side to some of her loved ones, and I felt like I actually shifted into the energy of the other side. It looked like a kind of like a medium colored, like rose, like a pink rose color cloud of energy, and I felt the presence of God in that energy. And I saw her loved ones there, and then it's almost like I stepped into that energy myself, and it was the most loving, amazing experience. This was like back in March, and where I felt like the energy was a part of me, but I also felt like it was the environment of the other side, and I felt the presence of
Yeah.
God there. Like it was beyond, I guess, any sense of love as a human I had had before, and it literally like shattered all my defenses over my heart, and I actually got a vision of that, like all like a shield over my heart just shattering, like when I connected with that energy, and so I've felt in this expanded state of love ever since then. And so I'm wondering if, if you can, yeah, first tell us a little bit more about yourself
I
and and also about this energy of the other side that I connected with and the qualities of it so that others may also try to connect with it as well.
right now I am a moving spirit. I once lived on your planet a long time ago. I don't even remember what I was doing there, but I know now that I'm out here that I am a little bit like an ascended master, but not quite. I'm one that moves about throughout the universe, trying to give a message of love to people, trying to give a message of understanding. What I understand was I was not the most loving person when I was alive, but I did want to be, but I was not. And so I am thinking that I'm now trying to make up for that by being the person that I am now, the beingness that I am now. And so I feel a great deal of love for the universe. And that's why I'm here, is because this planet needs more love. This planet needs to feel it. I look into the hearts of many, and there's a petition there, a shield that not all of you, but some of you have a shield over your heart that is not letting love in, not letting all the kindness in, not letting things in that should be there, but yet hostility and negativity and all this anger and that is what's ruling the heart. That's not what the heart is there for. The heart is not, and the soul is not there for all this anguish and all this negativity. You must learn that love, take away that petition of hatred even. It is based in hatred. It's based in distress and in distrust. It's all kinds of negativity balled up and causing real big problems. And no love can get through. You feel this maybe the passionate or sexual love, but you do not feel the true love of God. You do not feel the true love that is there for you to give to others. It's just not there. It's petitioned off. And I want you to remind you to open yourself to this. Many of you say, is she talking about me? If you have to think about it, yes, I am. There is a question.
Yeah, I'll let you go. Thank you very much for expanding upon your message of love.
This will be the last question, and we'll take the question from in the room.
Or just any message of guidance with
they can't hear you.
Any message of guidance from you for me. I did receive earlier, I was asking about what I should be doing, and the answer was love, with just one word. And I do healing.
Love is a good answer. What love is, you must understand what it is and what it can do. What love is not just a feeling. Love is a need to help. Love is a need to reach out. Love is a need to become something greater. And for you, love is a necessity to know who you are. You must love yourself first. Love is that which is making you valuable to the world, because without love, you are not valuable to the world. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Without love, you are not valuable to the world. So you must take away this screen over the heart and make it and find the love that should be there. And so that is how it will help you. Take away that screen from your heart, that anger, that hatred, that the things that are there stopping you from feeling love. And you will find yourself in a greater way. You will know yourself better. Take away the fear that's covering the heart. The heart is covered with fear, covered with anxiety and stress. It must be free. I don't know how to express it any other way. But you will learn.
And how do I call on you again to channel what was your name to ask for?
Kaliki.
Kaliki. Thank you. Love you. Blessings.
Yes, my other name is too hard for you to pronounce. Very well.
Would you leave us with a blessing? Because everyone in the room did a blessing on the way in. So it would be beautiful if you left us with a blessing of love on the way out.
Ura fanzisia shinzivi arawan. Mokuriatea. Mosunjuria wandi yazwaya. Kashuran di Vraria Mandori Aranda. Furidi Suedi Nakariti on the Ori Okwa Qua. Haliarana Divisia so Sorshu. God be with these people. Open them. Heal them. Bless them. Bring forth all your love to them. Bring forth healing and immunity to the world. Excuse me. Bring forth all that is good within them, so they know who they truly are in your nature. They are not anger. They are not disappointment. They are not anxiety. They are not stress. They are not depression. They are not fear. These are not who you are. These are things that the earth has brought to them. Build them up, lift them up, and show them what true love really is. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for that. Thank you very much.
I will go now.
Beautiful to have you, Kaliki. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello?
Hello, welcome back.
She's saying her name was Kaliki. Kaliki.
Yes. Angie, if you would do the announcements, please, and then we will call it a day.
Thank you so much. In just 2 short weeks, we, Jim, myself, and will be in the EES system, Energy Enhancement System in the Bath area, and we're going to do it from there. We will give everyone a preview of what that will look like in there for us. And that's a system created by Tesla, and so maybe we have him come that day. But the next thing that we're going to talk about is tentatively, we have the first, second week, something like that, in November for the level 4 magic class. There will be a prerequisite for that. And we will, Jim, myself, and will get together. We'll discuss that, what actually we need. So when we get together, when we are together next, I will have all that information, what exactly is needed for that class. We are doing, all classes are $150, and you can send any information, classes@hucolo.org. I will get that out to you on what you can sign up for, what you can. I'm also going to get the registration form. We are going to get that on, hopefully on the site, on the website, on both Jim's and on the Hucolo site, what the classes are, and what we are offering. I can't think of anything else, Jim.
Channel panel is coming up. We're going to be selling tickets for that. I hope to see some of you there. It'll be in
Sedona.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Sedona.
in Arizona, Sedona, Arizona. And so I'm really excited about going because I'm going to meet Bashar and Daryl Anka and
Rob and
Rob,
Wendy
Kennedy.
will be there, of course.
Yes,
And Daniel Scranton and Wendy Kennedy and so many others. So it's
yeah,
going to be
Sean
really
Swanson, I
great.
think.
Yeah,
What?
Sean. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Sean who?
Do you know if people want to go to that? Do you know what the price is for that?
I do not know yet. He hasn't. You would have to go to Rob's site to find that out.
It's called the channelpanel.com.
Channelpanel.com. All right, because we
And
are
he'll
going
have
to
all the
also
information
get that.
there. He hasn't sent me all the information yet, so
Got it.
he just sent me a text the other day that said, "I'm sorry, I forgot to get your name on the poster," something like that. So
we're going to put on Jim's link, our Jim's website, jim-charles.com. We're going to get that on his site. So we'll have on his site the channel panel, the classes, the event we're going to be holding in Canada. We're going to get that all on the website. We're going to get it on the Hucolo website. Talk to Krishna Priya about that to get all that on the website as well. But if you're interested, email classes@hucolo.org. I will try and get the information out to you.
Great. Thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to everyone in the YouTube. Thank you to everyone in our room. Much love to you, and we will see you next time. Bye,
Thank you.
everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Krista Priya. Thank you, Angie.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim. Thank